So if you've listened to Dave Ramsey, most likely you've heard him say the following things.
The cars are horrible as far as going down in value. I get it. I'm a car guy, but they go down in value rapidly. Well, the reason is that cars go down in value very, very rapidly. Like in half in no time, right? They lose about 60 to 70% of their value in the first 4 years you own them. And so you turn $50,000 into $10,000 so fast it makes your head swim, right? Number 2 rule is cars go down in value. Things with motors and things with wheels. Cars, boats, Sea-Doos, their sisters. I've got a bunch of things that go wooden, and I like stuff like that, but they all lose value. All lose value. All lose value.
Or statements like, anything with 4 wheels is going to lose value for sure. Well, for about 99% of cars or anything with 4 wheels, that is true. But there is about a 1% of vehicles out there that have gone up in value or are going up in value or haven't lost value. So whenever somebody uses an absolute statement like every single car or all cars, well, that makes it false, because we know for a fact that cars could actually be a good investment. Now think about it. Not all cars lose value. Not all watches lose value. Not all properties lose value. Not all art loses value. Not all liquor or wine loses value. And I could go on and on and on. But after talking with somebody and having a discussion, sometimes an argument, because I like to argue sometimes at like dinner parties or whatever, that's why I don't get invited again. But anyways, somebody brought up a really good rebuttal, and that was like, it's all about knowledge. And I never really stopped and thought about it, because if you asked me to go to like an art gallery or to like a watch shop or to a fancy wine event, I wouldn't know the difference between a $100 watch or like a $2 million watch or like a $100 wine or like a $20,000 wine. And if you talk to somebody who's been dealing with those wines, they could tell you the creases on a label, or they could tell you the movement on a watch, or if the band has been switched out, or if the face on the crystal has been switched out, or if the cork on the wine bottle has been opened or turned, or if it's been exposed to moisture or something like that. And finally, the individual really helped me see that maybe Dave Ramsey doesn't have that knowledge, but majority of the people don't have the car knowledge to buy the right cars. So essentially they do go out and buy a brand new car at a dealership, and a couple months later they've lost $2 or $3 grand, and that's just kind of standard operating procedure for the masses. But whenever Dave Ramsey does bring up the statement that all cars lose its value, I really think he misses the point that there are certain cars that really increase or triple in value. Now let's take a personal experience, and then we'll also talk about some cars out there that have gone crazy in value. But for someone like myself, who I bought my Toyota Supra a long time ago, I paid under 30 for it, and I sold it for more than double for it. And a lot of people would be like, well, you paid insurance, you paid tires, you pay taxes on it, and there was some wear and tear on it. Well, those statements are true, but at the end of the day, everything you just said wouldn't amount to about $3 or $4 grand. And someone like me who makes videos, and I have a couple of really popular Supra videos, not only did I make money on the Supra sale, but the videos from the Supra have also helped as well. So cars have a lot of usages, from transportation to social media stuff, to also being able to enjoy them and walk away with some change in your pocket. And that's a fact. Like, I'm not making it up or anything like that. It was just that the car became more popular and the market deemed it that it needed to go up in value, and the values went up really high. It just happens. It's supply and demand. I mean, if you think about, properties, right location, right timing and everything. Now let's talk about just cars out there in general that are just going up in value. Cars that are out of my reach. But let's take a Ferrari F50. For a long time, the Ferrari F40 was like the one that everybody wanted. But here recently, somebody on NSX Prime who sent me a really nice comment saying that they really like our NSX videos, said his dream car is an F50. And I was like, well, I haven't really looked into the F50. And long and behold, there was only like 300 something F50s ever made. And here recently, the F50 has eclipsed the F40's value by a long shot. For a long time, the F50 was the butt end of the joke when talking about the F40, how the F50 was nowhere near as cool or as awesome as the F40. And now in today's world, you could actually buy about 2 F40s for the price of one F50. Why? Well, they didn't make a lot of them. And B, the market decided, hey, we're going to take a car that was, about $500,000 or something like that, and now it's going to be about over $3 million. If you think about that, that's pretty crazy. Now, if you think about the original Cobras, like the original real Cobras, not the replicas or majority that you see on the road or kit cars, but those were sold for about $15,000 new back in the days. And now you're lucky to touch one, their prices are insane. And essentially, just to give you an idea, like somebody who paid 15 grand and is selling something for 500 or $1 million later on, they did not lose money. And all these are just facts. There's countless and countless of cars. Like, let's talk about the Ferrari 458. People are literally selling their Ferrari 458s as much as they paid for it or a little bit more. And that's after owning them for about a decade. So you could own a Ferrari for a decade and come out with a few dollars in your pocket compared to having spent a lot. And see, that's what a lot of people don't know, is that if you pick the right car, you could actually own it for free or walk away with some change in your pocket. Now, of course, somebody's going to say, well, that's for these really exclusive cars out there. But that's not all true. Like, you could go out right now and you could buy certain cars that are a good brand, a good model, and that you know for a fact are going to be in high demand. Now, let's take the 4Runner. Here in the past couple years, if you want a 4Runner, like if you own a 4Runner and you bought one, you could walk away with almost very little depreciation depending on how you treated it and depending on the miles, but they held their value. Ford Raptors are holding their value. Now, they're not going up in value, but they're holding their value. Now, if you want to go out there and buy a Ford F-150 Platinum and you want to spend a lot more money, believe it or not, the Raptor is holding its value more than the Platinum. So it's all about knowledge, and knowledge is power whenever you're buying anything, like everything that I said, like wine and cigars and stuff like that. So whenever Dave Ramsey says that cars lose their value, I really think it's cars lose their value because people aren't making the right choices. They're not knowledgeable. And almost in any car, no matter what, if you're not even into sports cars, you can make a really good decision with any car and you could lose very little money compared to just making a blind decision because you like the way it looks and you like its color. And another good example here to end this is I bought a 2003 Ford Ranger XLT. I paint corrected it. It was already in great shape. I paint corrected it. It was the off-road package and everything. And essentially when we sold it, we made like $3 grand on it or something like that. And we weren't trying to make money on it, but when I saw the vehicle, the condition that it was, and the price market, I knew for a fact that this is a vehicle that somebody else is going to want. And we ended up using it for yard work, for car stuff. We originally bought it to get the S800. And at the end of the day, we just bought smart instead of going out and buying a new F-150, paying all those taxes, all that depreciation, and then selling it and taking a loss. We ended up walking away with a gain. Anyone could do that. You guys could do that. I mean, I'm sure you guys are doing it. Most of you guys own these cool cars if you're watching Driver's Therapy. But even if it's your daily driver, trust me, you can make a great choice, and you can make a choice that you end up not losing any money. You just have to do your due diligence. If you ever have a question about what car you should buy, let me know. I love helping people out with that. I always have recommendations and cars out there that I know for a fact are going to be just great buys. All right, guys, thanks for watching. You take care, and we'll see you soon.